YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be comparing two of the most popular Louis Vuitton handbags. That's the Neverfull, and this is the Neverfull MM, the new model. I also have an old model Neverfull in the back there that I'll pull out. And then this is the original model Delightful, and this is the PM size. So I'm going to compare those two for you because they're very similar. First, I want to tell you about how I acquired these bags. So the Neverfull was on my list for a long time. It was a bag that I wanted, and it was the second Louis Vuitton bag I ever purchased, and the first that I purchased in the store. The one behind me here, the Damier Azur, I purchased pre-loved from Tradesy, a seller on Tradesy. If you can hear that whistling, it's Vincent. She's across the apartment. I have my doors closed and you can still hear her. And Vincent is my parrot, if you don't know that. She's an African gray. So I have this, and this one I got from a seller on Tradesy, like I said. So that was a pre-loved piece. And I loved those Neverfulls, and I was looking to get a monogram Neverfull and have all three of the Neverfulls. They're all the MM size. And I knew I wanted the old model because one of the things I love about the old model is that it has the floral design inside. So it doesn't just have the stripes, but it has the little flowers, and it has that Louis Vuitton written in a script font, whereas the new model Neverfull has, let me show you, I was using this today, so it's stuffed full of things, but it does not have the flowers, and it has more of a block font. So I was looking for the old model Neverfull in monogram, and the ones that I found in the condition that I wanted, which is pretty good condition, but not brand new, I still wanted a patina, they were near $1,000, and I just didn't want to pay that much because I like to get deals. I wanted to find something closer to $600, $700, $800. So I stumbled upon, and I don't remember exactly how this happened, but I stumbled upon the Delightful, and I thought, well, gee, that looks very similar to the Neverfull. It's about the same size and shape. It comes in the monogram print that I'm interested in, and it has a different kind of strap because the Neverfull straps sometimes give me a little bit of a problem, and I thought, oh, and the original model has the flowers inside, which is what I was really looking for, and I wanted the beige. They come in different colors, and I wanted the beige one, and so I thought, that could be a really good option. So I started looking at Delightfuls, watching videos, and I finally found this one. It was Trendly at the time, but now they're called Rebag, and I'll link them below. It was about $700, which was a great price, and the condition is excellent. The vachetta is in great shape. Often what you'll find with the vachetta pieces that are on the cheaper end, cheap is relative here, cheaper for Louis Vuitton, is that they'll have issues to the trim here with the vachetta. It'll be cracked, or it'll be just really dry where it's starting to kind of rub away and peel, or it'll have a lot of water staining. So I wanted something that was in pretty good condition. This one looks great. It has a little bit, I don't know if it'll even show up on the video, but it has a little bit of kind of splotchiness on the handle there. But that doesn't bother me at all. That looks pretty normal. Looks like pretty normal wear and tear to me. So I snagged this, and I feel like I got a great deal, and I love it. And I love both of these bags. And because I use them kind of interchangeably because they're basically the same size, I thought it'd be helpful for you guys to have a video comparing them in case you're wondering, or in case you're in the same situation I am where you're interested in a Neverfull, but you don't want to pay the prices of the used ones or a new one. So maybe the Delightful would be a better option, or you just don't want a bag that everybody else has, so maybe the Delightful is a good option. A lot of people have the Delightful too, but it's not as prevalent as the Neverfulls. First, I want to talk a little bit about the different models. So when you're doing your own research looking for a bag, you know some of the differences. Now, I'm no expert, especially on the Delightful. It's been through several incarnations, so I can't tell you everything, but I'll tell you what I do know about them. And I have a video I'll link below about the Neverfull, the differences between the old and new models on those. Basically, it's what I told you already. The old model has the floral and the script print. The new model doesn't. The new model of the Neverfull also comes, if you buy it new, and sometimes if you buy it pre-loved, it comes with this pouch, and it comes with a strap on the pouch, which I don't keep on here. I keep it separate. It comes with a pouch and it has the pocket and everything. So those are the main differences between the new and the old model Neverfulls. Now with the Delightful, there are, I don't know like the proper names for them, but there's the original model, which is what this is. The original model comes in 3 sizes. The PM, which is this, which is the same size as the Neverfull MM. Then there's an MM size, which is bigger, and then there's the GM size, which is the biggest. The GM size is very distinctive because it has these 2 zippers that go like this, kind of diagonally like that. And I'll see if I can find a picture and post it here. You've probably seen those, and that's what that bag is. That was the only incarnation of the Delightful that has those zippers on it. I really like that look. I like the edginess of it, but I didn't want a bag that big, so I didn't get that one. I wanted one the same size as what I got. On the original model has this tab here, and then there's an updated model, I'll call it the new model, and then the latest version is something that goes by a different name, which would be the Graceful. So it's basically the same bag, but it's updated with a few things. So again, the original model has this tab, and mine happens to be made in France, and it says that there. That was another thing I really loved about this particular bag. It doesn't make that much difference for me where it's made. It's just that it's a French company, so it's nice to have one that's made in France. So it has the tab, it has the floral inside, and another way you can tell which model it is, if it's the old or new, is by looking at the construction here. The original model has a rounded corner, rounded edge, rounded base. The newer model is going to have more of a pointed base. It's not totally pointed, it's still a little bit rounded, but it's distinctive, it's noticeable, and I'll put a picture of that here. And then the Graceful, and the new model that has that point, they added colored interiors, so you can get the colors, and I don't think those have the floral design anymore. And then the Graceful, the most recent version, which I think just came out in 2017 or 2018, that one, they got rid of this trim on the top, and there are a few other differences. I'm not sure it has the rings, I don't remember, but it has a luggage tag. The new model, the middle model, also has kind of like the artsy like a keychain thing hanging from it. It has one of the U-rings and then a round key ring. I don't know what to call them, if they're keychains or something else. It's never made sense to me that those are on the outside of the bag. I don't understand that. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. I don't know. Those are the basic differences that I know of that are the most obvious between the different models. So what I'll show you is mostly my old original model Delightful PM versus the Neverfull MM. So let's start with the dimensions, because like I said, they're basically the same size. The height of the Neverfull MM I just measured is 11.5 inches. The base is 12 inches across, and the depth is, on camera, the depth is 6 inches this way. The Delightful, the height is 11 inches, so it's half an inch shorter than the Neverfull MM. The width across here is 13 from corner to corner, 13 inches. That's 1 inch longer than the Neverfull. And then the depth is 5.5 inches. That's a half inch narrower than the Neverfull. Also, I tried to measure the strap drop. So the inside here on the Neverfull straps is 7.75 inches, but I couldn't measure it. I couldn't figure out how to measure it on the Delightful, because if you hold the bag like this where the bag's completely open, there is no strap drop. It's like an inch. So if you hold the bag like this, then I don't really know, I can measure from here, but I don't know what bottom measurement to use. So I'm not really sure how to measure that. But it's plenty of room to put it over your shoulder, which is generally why we want to know strap drop anyway. I also want to throw in, before I forget, I have a bunch of notes here on what I want to talk about, because when I do comparisons, I try to be very, very detailed for you, because that's what I look for when I'm doing research on bags and trying to decide between some of them. I wanted to say about the Neverfulls that they come in the 3 different canvases. They also come in Epi leather, and the Delightful, as far as I know, and the Graceful only come in the canvas. I'm not sure they even come in all 3 canvases. I think the Delightful does, but I'm not sure about the Graceful. The old model Neverfull and the 2 older, well, all the Delightfuls are discontinued. The Graceful would be the one that is still sold. I have heard, I don't know if this is fact yet, but I've heard some reliable rumors that the Neverfull PM, which I think is about this big, it probably won't help you. The Neverfull PM is being discontinued from what I've heard, and I've heard that possibly the Neverfull GM, which is enormous, is being discontinued, but I don't know that for sure. The information on the PM is more reliable. So if you have any information that you want to add to that, or other rumors you've heard about the differences between the different models of the bags and the different incarnations, or about discontinuation of anything, go ahead and leave that in the comment section so that everybody can check that out, anybody who's looking for that information. And also, I want to say, this may be obvious, the bags that are discontinued, so anytime you say old model, that means there's a new model, so the old model is discontinued. So those obviously you can't buy anymore at the Louis Vuitton store, but you can still buy them. You just have to get them on the pre-loved market. And I've listed my favorite pre-loved sites below. They're listed in the description box of all of my videos. So if you're interested in looking for those bags, you can certainly check that out. The construction of the bags is pretty similar. Actually, I'm going to use my old model because it's empty, it's lighter, it's easier to handle here. So the Neverfull is made of 3 pieces of canvas. You've got the 1 piece on the front, you've got 1 piece on the back, and those are joined on both sides by the seams over here. And then you have a 3rd piece of canvas on the bottom. The Delightful, very similar. It has 1 piece of canvas on the front, 1 piece of canvas on the back. Those are joined on the sides by the seams. And then it has 2 pieces of canvas on the bottom. You can see a seam there in the center. And I believe they did that so that the monogram would be upright on both ends, because if it was 1 piece, it would be upside down on one end. The straps on the bags are very different. This is one of the main differences between the 2 bags. So the Neverfull has 2 straps, so it's easy to open the bag like this. Both of these straps are pretty thin, and they're attached via just being sewn on there. Let's see if I can show you. You can see the stitching inside the bag. You can see it there where the stitching goes all the way through, so it is well reinforced. I have heard that the Neverfull straps, even though they're really thin and they can kind of feel flimsy, especially the Vachetta ones because they're so soft and malleable, I've heard that they can actually hold quite a lot of weight. I want to say it's like 100 or 200 pounds, which sounds insane. Don't quote me on that, and don't try to put that much in your bag and then have it break and blame me for it. That's what I've heard, is it can hold a whole lot of weight. I wouldn't put that much in my bag. Why would you want to? But I've heard it's strong. They're meant to be strong. And the leather on the straps is pretty thick. That was one of the things that I was really impressed with when I first saw the Neverfull in person. The strap on the Delightful is pretty different. It's just 1 strap that goes over your shoulder. It's thick this way, so the leather is thick, but then it's also a wide strap, whereas these are very thin straps. This is not attached via sewing. It's got these rings here, and then the leather is looped around the ring, and it's attached with a rivet where on one side it's got a flat screw, and on the other side it has this round piece that sticks up quite a bit there, maybe a 1/4 of an inch or so. The Neverfull also has these cinching straps on the side. And because of that, what these are made to do is cinch your bag. So let me just do that real quick and show you. So when your Neverfull is cinched, it looks like this. So you can make it into a smaller bag. A lot of people will get the GM size knowing they can cinch it. So when they have it open up all the way. They've got a nice big tote for when they need a really big tote, but then you can also make it smaller when you need a smaller bag, and it's almost like having two bags in one. And the canvas is nice and floppy, which I really love about this bag in particular, the Neverfulls. I also love that about this bag. It's very floppy too. This bag takes different shapes. With the Delightful, you never quite know what shape your bag is going to be. It changes all the time. One thing I noticed on both of these bags is, as I was preparing for this video, is that they both have piping, and I knew that on the Delightful because it's kind of obvious on the side. It's pretty obvious on the side there, but I hadn't really noticed it on the Neverfull. But there is piping on the bottom here. You see it? And this piping is canvas, and the coated canvas is really easy to clean and it's durable. So you do see wear to the corners of these bags sometimes because they get used so much, and that's just normal. But it's more durable than the piping on the Delightful, which is all vachetta. You also have to be more careful about where you put this bag down, because if you put it in water, that'll stain it, and there are other things that can soil that vachetta. It's more delicate than the coated canvas for sure. And that's one of the things you want to look at when you're looking at a pre-loved bag, is make sure you ask for pictures of the corners if the seller doesn't provide them for you already, and the piping on the underside, because that's important too. And that would be one of the things that would wear the most quickly, just like the trim. Now I want to show you the hardware on the exterior of the bags. On the Neverfull, the only hardware is on these cinching straps. So you've got the little rivets there and these D-rings, and then you have this very strange hardware on the end of the D-rings, which is the rivet, which is not so strange, that makes sense. But then you have this other D-ring. What is that for? I have no idea. Let me show you the one thing that I've seen it used for, and that is for security, since there's no zipper on the bag at the top to keep the top of the bag closed. I have seen a photograph on, I don't know, online somewhere, where somebody did this. They attached all those strings there at the clip in the middle. I mean, that's just so weird looking though. That's not attractive in my opinion. So I don't know if that's the real purpose of those little D-rings, is the security feature, but it doesn't seem that much more secure to me, and just seems like it would be a big hassle for you and not very attractive, like I said. So if any of you know what the real purpose of those little D-rings at the end of the cinching straps are, I would love to know. I bet there are a lot of other people on here who would also love to know. The only hardware on the Delightful on the exterior is those rivets and then these brass rings. Those rings do move. They turn around. They're not attached anywhere. And they say Louis Vuitton on them. I don't know if this will show up, but they say Louis Vuitton there on both sides. So that is all the hardware on the outside of the Delightful. The reason that I want to bring up the hardware is for decorating your bags. I know a lot of you like to do that, just like I do. So I got a few of my decorations out here. I have this Louis Vuitton penguin bag charm from the 2017 Christmas animation collection. I have one of my clays, and that's that. And then I have an Hermes Twilly. I just want to do some quick demonstrations for you to show you the differences in decorating these two bags. So with a bag charm on the Neverfull, I tend to hang that from the D-ring, but because it's kind of delicate, or at least it feels kind of delicate, I can't hang anything very heavy there like I would on some other straps, like on my Speedy, the little square metal pieces that hold the handle there. Those can hold more weight. This I don't think can. So that's where I usually hang bag charms. That's what it looks like. Personally, I would rather hang a bag charm right here. I think visually that looks better on the bag. It's a better placement. But I don't like putting these kinds of clips around the strap because it doesn't quite fit. You have to force it a little bit. And I don't want to scratch the handles. So the only thing I put on there is tying a scarf on, or something with a really big clip like the clay, where I can just attach that, and that works, but it also can't be too heavy. And then when you put your bag down and the straps fall, then sometimes sometimes your bag charm falls down like that too, and that's super annoying. And then it can kind of rub against the strap over time. So I don't necessarily recommend that, but in a pinch when you need to hang something there, like if you're at the airport and you want this really handy because you want to have your ID and debit card or something like that in there, you can do that. That's an option. With these straps, I've seen people tie scarves, like you know how you wrap a scarf around the handle of a bag, like on a Kelly bag or something, and you wrap the whole thing and make it look nice. So I've seen people do that with these straps, but they're so thin, it's a little difficult. I think the better thing to do if you want to tie a scarf to your bag is just to do, I'm going to do a fake bow here, just to do a little bow like this, and I'm just going to hold this terrible bow up against my bag just to give you an idea. So that would look super cute. I think that's one of the best ways to decorate the Neverfull, really. On the Delightful, the problem that I run into with bag charms here is that the only place to hang them is from the rings, but this metal is so thick that it's hard to find a clip that'll go over it. You have to have a big clip. This one is a pretty big clip as Vuitton clips go, but it will not fit over there. It will not go over at all. So that wouldn't work unless I attach another kind of ring that's bigger to get it over there. The clay would work. This goes over just about anything because it's such a large clasp. So you could definitely hang it like that. And I think that looks fine. But of course the best option, I think, on both of these bags is some kind of small scarf, like a twilly. What did I just do with it? Here it is. I almost threw it in my wine. That wouldn't be good. So let me make another terrible fake bow here. And that could be on the side of your bag like that. It'd be pretty cute. You could also, because it's kind of a long casual bag, tie it like this and have it hanging off the sides. I think that would look nice too. So that's some ideas for decorating. I don't think that you could really wrap the scarf around the strap on this because it's so flat and wide. At the same time, I'm not sure that would work very well. All right, I knew this would be a long video and my camera's already cut out on me twice. This is the third time I'm trying to film. So I don't know how far we are into this, but I know we're quite far. Let's finally get into the insides of these bags. The fabric, I already talked about how some of the old model Neverfull has the flowers and the script and the new model doesn't. You can also see how you have the clips here at the top of the Neverfull. That's the only way to close the bag. You have rivets those are the other side of the rivets that on the cinching straps. You have a big pocket here, and on the Neverfull, these pockets, they kind of fold out like this. They're not attached to the bag or sewn into the lining, except on the top here where the handles are stitched, and then at the trim. And that big giant pocket has a big zipper, and you can open that up and there's a nice big compartment in there. Notice the shape of the vachetta around the zipper and with the squared corners, and then the zipper pull, how it's kind of a pretty regular looking zipper pull. It's the same zipper pull that's on the clay, so it's shaped like that. Pay attention to that because the Delightful is different. And then the location of the D-ring is over on the side here with a little rivet. Oh, and I also want to point out the interior of the bag, so the lining of the bag is attached to the other side of the canvas. So you're not able to, you know how in some bags you can reach in and pull the lining out and like see it better and clean it? Can't do that with this bag. You can turn that bag inside out though. I've done that before with my other Neverfull with the red interior. It was very difficult to do, but I was able to do it. I felt like I was going to damage the bag doing it. This one might be easier because the canvas has been used more and it's more malleable. It's an older bag. And it also has, in the construction, I think you can see at the base there, where it's sewn, it's just like on a Speedy. It's got like bias tape around the seams. I don't know how clear that is, but it's like these, where the seams meet around the bottom of the bag, this little ridge that's covered in cloth. And the seams on the side of the bag are also covered in a bias tape. think you can see that there. The Delightful interior at first looks very similar, but there are quite a few differences. So let's give you a little overview. You've got that same floral print, at least on this older model, the original model of the Delightful. You have that clip at the top, that's the same on both bags. But then start looking at some of the differences. So that big pocket there does not come out, it's part of the lining. But then pay attention to the zipper there in the pocket, how it's not a pocket that comes out. It is fully attached inside the lining there. So when you open that zipper, it's still about the same size as the Neverfull pocket, but it just doesn't come out like the Neverfull pocket does. The zipper pull is different. It's not the one like on the clay. It's a bigger zipper pull. Let's see if I can pull that out where you can see it a little better here. So it's a larger zipper pull. It says Louis Vuitton on it. It has that big hole, almost like a soda can, kind of. This one also has the squared edges. The newer model Neverfull has more of a triangular edge on that vachetta piece there, the leather piece. The D-ring is attached on the pocket there instead of being off to the side. And then one of the biggest differences on the inside of the bag, besides it not saying Louis Vuitton like the Neverfull pocket does, is the lining is more polished. You don't have those seams at the bottom. You don't have any bias tape showing. You can see a seam going down here, but it's sewn together like the lining on most bags would be. Also, this lining, you can take it and pull it out separate from the bag, which could come in handy for cleaning. I also want to show you the location of the date codes on these because a lot of people have questions about that. On the Neverfull, it is under the top of the pocket, so it's right there on that little vachetta tab. So on the Delightful, it is inside the pocket. It is, let's see, right there. Can you see it right there? That's where it is. All right, different ways to wear these bags and how they wear. So I'm gonna get up a little bit and move my chair out of the way and show you this. All right, I am 5'3", just for reference. So the Neverfull is mostly a shoulder bag. That's how I wear it. So over one shoulder like this. And I don't have an organizer or a base shaper, so it's pretty floppy. There's nothing in it right now. That's how it looks. I love the GMs and how they just kind of wrap around your body. The Neverfull MMs can do that too. So you can wear it over your shoulder. You can wear it on the crook of your arm. You can hand hold it, of course. So those are the ways to wear the Neverfull and how it looks. This bag doesn't keep its shape, like I said. So you can wear it over your shoulder, but then it also kind of just gets under your armpit there if you just throw it over your shoulder like that. The base, because of the piping and the edging here, it doesn't flatten out against you so much, and when you do that, it kind of slips off your shoulder sometimes. I've heard some people have problems with that and some don't. You can also wear it on the crook of your arm like this, or of course hand hold it. What a lot of people do with this bag, and what I've heard Vuitton recommended, is that you take it, and it's easier to do when there's stuff in it, but you take it like this and you kind of hold those two middle pieces together and fold the middle in like this and kind of hold the top up, and it has sort of a fortune cookie shape. Looks something like that. And then when you put it over your shoulder, it does give you the space you need, and it still looks kind of nice. It doesn't look so sloppy or casual, and that's a really nice look. And then when you have it on your shoulder, it doesn't fall off as much, I don't think. But every time you take your bag off and put it back on, you have to reshape it like that. So that's a little annoying. Plus, it means you can't put as much in your bag because it can only go, you can only have things about halfway up because you have to make room for that top of the bag to fold over like that. So here is my big tip with the Neverfull. I mean, not with the Neverfull, with the Delightful. What I do is I took the strap off of my Noe GM, and I have these little clips that I've added. These are called snap hooks. People always ask me where I get them. I can't tell you. I just go to my local hardware store and try to find them, or I look on Etsy. You have to measure your strap and then try to find something that fits in there. These are really a little too big. They shouldn't wobble that much. So I don't like these very much. I don't want to recommend this one. But here's what I do. I take my strap, and this strap is not removable, not without damaging it, I don't think. So I take my bag and I just put that strap on the back of the bag like that. So on the front, you don't see the strap at all. And I take my Noe strap with the snap hooks that I added, and I clip those snap hooks to the end. And you also have to make sure that you have a snap hook that'll fit over these giant rings because they are really big. And then I have a much longer strap where I'm able to wear that bag over my shoulder, and then I can just fill it as much as I want. And it looks like that. I think it looks fantastic like this. I took it into Vuitton one day and even they complimented it. I like this option so much more than the original strap. It is so much more comfortable to wear. I like having this bag lower. I can fit more in it. The strap I find is more comfortable because it doesn't slip off my shoulder like the other one does. So for me, that is the perfect option. It's also easier to get into the bag because when you have it up on your shoulder with the original strap, to get in, you have to take the bag off your shoulder. But with this option, the bag's down by your waist, so you can just keep it on your shoulder and get into your bag. It's so much more convenient. And you don't have to have a Noe GM strap to be able to do that. You can mix and match straps from other bags, buy individual straps from other sellers. You could also check M Craft Leather. I'll link them below. They make straps that look like Louis Vuitton straps. I don't think they have one that's like the Noe strap, but I'm sure they could make you something else that would look nice with that bag. Okay, now I want to talk about some positive and negatives of both bags. Let's start with the positives, and I'll start with the Neverfull. So one of the big positives of the Neverfull, like I just talked about, is when you have it over your shoulder, you don't have to take it off your shoulder to get into it. You just take one strap off and then you can look in your bag and reach in and get what you need. That's really handy. And like I said, though the straps are thin, they're designed to carry a lot of weight. I find the Neverfull straps really comfortable, especially the Vachetta straps. And I also mentioned this, but you can turn the bag inside out to clean it. Again, it's difficult to do, but it is possible. The positives with the Delightful, a lot of people say the strap is very comfortable. Like I said, it kind of falls off my shoulder. It does that for some people, but it is a very comfortable strap. And I would say it's more comfortable than the Neverfull straps. The interior fabric being loose where you can pull it out is a big plus too, so that you can get in there and clean things and get dust out. Now the negatives for the bags. The negatives for the Neverfull. One negative for a lot of people is that so many people have the Neverfull that it's kind of oversaturated in the market, and some people don't want it just because of that. Other people complain that the thin straps are uncomfortable, especially the Ebene straps, which are the coated leather. Personally, I haven't had a problem with that. It bothers some people, it doesn't bother others. One problem I have had with the straps is I think they're a little bit too short. I often want to take a bag just with one arm and put it over my shoulder, but my elbow gets in the way. So with weight in it, I've been able to kind of twist my, what's this called? My wrist down some and get it over my shoulder. And these straps are stretchy because they're leather. I mean, they're not like super stretchy like elastic, but over time they'll stretch a little bit because they're leather. So I have been able to get it where there's weight in the bag where I can maneuver and get it on my shoulder with one hand. But they could be a little bit longer, an inch longer, and it would help so much. The negatives with the Delightful, like I mentioned, the strap that comes attached to the bag tends to slip off a lot of people's shoulders. And though the bags are about the same size, like I said, if you have this one folded over in that kind of fortune cookie look, you can only put things about halfway up in it, so you lose about half the space in there if you want to carry it that way. Also, if you carry it on your shoulder, it sits a lot higher. The top of the bag sits a lot higher than on the Neverfull, so you'll have things over your arm. Your arm will be sticking out from your body a little more depending on how you stuff the two bags. One of the big problems I have with this is that you have to take it off your shoulder in order to access it to get your wallet or something else out. And then you have to be careful, more careful than with the Neverfull, because that piping is Vachetta and not canvas. I've also gotten to where I find it kind of annoying that the shape of the bag, you never know what it's gonna be. Like, that's not pretty, right? Not in my opinion. I saw a lady carrying this the other day in the parking lot of a grocery store, and it was just thrown like this. She hadn't shaped it, just thrown over her shoulder, and it looked so pretty. It was so casual and like carefree, and I thought it was lovely. But for some reason, when I wear it like this, I think it looks sloppy. So I don't know, I guess that's just personal opinion. I think that the Delightful is a much more casual looking bag than the Neverfull. And then the Neverfull too, another positive I just remembered is, like I said earlier, you get kind of two bags in one. So you get the tote look, you can also get the cinched look, whereas the Delightful, you just have the hobo look the whole time. Although I guess you could argue you could have that fortune cookie shape bases the throwing it around shape. All right, that is all I could think of to talk about for comparing these two bags, both wonderful bags, the Neverfull and the floppy Delightful PM. If there's anything about these bags that you would like to know that I didn't cover, please leave that in the comment section below, and maybe if it's something I can answer, someone else can answer, we can do that. And if it's something that needs to be on video, maybe I can do another video about it. If you have anything that you want to add that you've experienced with these bags or that you know about these bags, please put that in the comment section too, because I do these videos for people who are looking for these bags. So if they are, hopefully there's more helpful information in the comments that I didn't know about or forgot to say. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. I do these long, detailed reviews because that's what I like when I'm doing research. I want as much information as possible, so I try to be very, very detailed for the people who want the same things. Unfortunately, that means very long videos. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, especially if you got this far into it. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you can be notified by YouTube when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.